So, try and try again. When I think of my life, that's the phrase that comes up for me. I am from a small town, Montville, Michigan, right over the state line. I didn't leave very far, like my dreams wanted me to. Growing up in Montville was a great childhood for me. It was a very remote area. I was able to play all day on my bike. Nobody worried about us getting taken. We'd go to the green store, get dime candy. We had a lot of animals, a lot of farm around us. I would ride on a tractor with my grandfather as he plowed the fields. We also had a lot of businesses growing up, and a few really good memories for me. Specifically, one was driving with my grandmother we had 3 donut shops at the time. And I would go in with her at 3, 4 in the morning while she's making the donuts, just like they show on TV with Dunkin' Donuts. And she'd be making the donuts, and I would be waiting on all of the different truckers and guests, because a lot of these shops were 24/7. So getting the dimes and nickels and quarters was very exciting for me as a 5, 6-year-old girl. That also led to a lot of lucrative lemonade and brownie stands growing up. I also was very drawn to the stars growing up. I would get a beanbag out in the middle of our yard. We had a huge yard, 2 acres. I'd go out in the middle of the yard in the middle of the night with my music and just sit out there and look at the stars. I don't think I was looking for aliens, but I don't put it past me because I was always into things like that and trying to discover things. I also, what had a huge impact on me was all the Indiana Jones movies. I wanted to be an archaeologist from the time I can remember. I loved uncovering things and discovering things and reading about these places all over the world, and I just wanted to explore them. I wanted to scuba dive. I wanted to find shipwrecks. I wanted to live on a boat in the middle of the ocean. That really sums up my childhood. And my mom fed into my fantasy. She would always be buying me books and stuff like that to help fuel that in me. Another great memory was growing up. My aunt and uncle were building a home in Purgatory, Michigan, which is Constantine. It's a very remote area of Constantine. Actually, Al Capone was rumored to have a hideout there. But we would go over there, and I would see everything being dug up, and I would go around looking for rocks like I usually did and whatever else. And I just saw these blue and white dishes around the ground, and I discovered my first arrowhead that day. So that was just solidified to me that I need to be an archaeologist. So I went to school, showed everybody my arrowhead, and it was just something that was really stood out for me in my childhood that I really loved. After that, I actually discovered a ring that was in the ocean and a money clip on the beach. So I was always discovering things. What I really realized looking back at all that is I loved to uncover and share. I decided to start work for one of my family businesses. It's called MedTech here in Goshen. It was around for several years. I didn't go to college like I wanted to. I started for a year, and I decided to stay. I kind of liked it there. I kind of liked working and making money. So the ambitious part of me kind of took over, and I stayed there. And we made ambulance and rescue vehicles. I was there for 9 years. And during that time, I still felt like there was something I wanted to do. And at this time, I remember talking to my father about doing the archaeology thing, leaving. I was 26 years old, and he gave me the worst advice in the world. He said, never make your passion your livelihood. And I look back at that, and I'm like, Dad, what were you thinking? And I think it was just the way he was raised. Hard work, do a business, make money, retire. That was how we did it in my family. We didn't really do the education thing. We didn't really go to college. Nobody was really pushing for that. So I think that's what they were thinking. Well, in my 30s, I decided to do the coffee shop aspect that I was thinking and dreaming about when I was at MedTech. So I developed a business plan. It took me 3 years to get it off the ground. It was called Java Jungle. I had it here in Elkhart County for over 7 years. It was bittersweet in so many ways, taught me so many things. I met my husband through there. I had a little baby unexpectedly, and I was very busy, but unfortunately, I had to close the coffee shop. I went through divorce. I decided to back up a little bit, take care of my child. I have a 10-year-old boy. He's put me through a lot because he's had a lot of behavioral issues as well, and that has been very trying. So I went through a lot of adversity in my 30s, and I lost a lot. I had to go live back home with my dad in his basement with my baby. So, long story short, when I look back at all that, I realized that I had a lot of adversity that I had to overcome within myself and to believe in myself again. And that's now been 7 years ago, and I'm ready again to create a business to uncover who I am so I can share that with other people and also help them discover who they are. So that's why I decided I'm going to start working on archaeology for the soul. That's kind of my new concept, so that's what I've been working on lately. And to sum up, I have a saying that I love by Teddy Roosevelt, actually from a speech he did about the man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort or without error and shortcoming, but who actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never rest with those cold and timid souls that know neither victory nor defeat. So,